Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gerald Lewis. I'm a captain and a coach for a fishing team in Kentucky. Here at Chickamauga this week, fishing with my dad. We're having a pretty good time, pretty good trip. So far, we've got, I caught a 710, Dad had a 9.5, and then I got 11.6 yesterday and today. Dad got a 6-pounder and several 4s, and he had a pretty good trip. We was letting him live bait, and while we was swim baiting and rattle trapping and that kind of thing, some worms we was throwing, and we caught a lot of fish, a lot of small fish. Had a great day though, and had a good time. A little wore out, but we're having a pretty good trip. What I wanted to go over today is, I overheard some guys this morning talking about having kids in the boat, but not properly dressed, especially for cold or rainy weather conditions. That's one of the things that I've noticed a lot of guys, a lot of men, don't go well prepared either. They'll show up. I've had guys show up with me in flip-flops, and it's going to pour to rain or snow, and they're just not prepared. I don't understand that. You'd think that if you're going to go fishing, you're going to kind of look the weather situation over and either have clothes with you to dress for it or dress appropriately when you show up and be ready to fish. There's nothing worse than being out and catching fish, because it's happened to me before, and have somebody with you that's underdressed, and you wind up having to cut your trip short to take them back home because they're freezing. That's just bizarre to me, to be in that kind of predicament. I want to tell you what happened to me one time in my early 30s. I went fishing by myself, and it was February. It was in the 20s, and I went on a walleye run, and they was definitely running. And I decided to make a little trip and catch some walleye to eat. So I went to the lake, and I put in, and I drove about 6 miles to where some points was and some cuts that I knew walleye would hang out at, and I started fishing. Well, the boat had some ice in it, and I wound up slipping and falling out into the lake. And it was very cold. I mean, I went in almost in shock as soon as I hit the water. But I grabbed the side of the boat, pulled myself in. And here was the thing. Back then, I was well dressed for it. I instantly took all the clothes I had off, and what I did was, back then, especially, fishing by myself a lot, I always kept extra clothes and towels and stuff like that. So I started drying off. I took all the wet clothes off, and I put fresh, dry, warm clothes on that I had boxed up. And that included coveralls, the whole 9 yards. I put a toboggan on my head, and what I done was, now that I'm 6 miles away, I knew I didn't want to run because where my head was wet and stuff, because I'd wind up with a head cold or worse. So what I done was, I got out of the wind, I turned my back to what might be windy, and just fished out in deep water, just making casts until I totally dried, which by the time I got really comfortable and warm, which I was warm instantly as far as drying off, but once my head was dry and I was good to go, which took about an hour, then I slowly made my way back. I didn't want to run fast. So I made my way back. I point hopped on the way back, and I caught fish. Had a good time. But I was extra careful the second go around because I sure didn't want to fall in again. And I've known guys that's fallen in before. And in one particular instance, a guy fell in, and his brother and cousin was with him, and they had to fish him out, and none of them had extra clothes. So what they done was, they took their warm suits off and put on him. Well, he didn't even as much as catch a cold. One of those guys wound up with a flu, and the other one got pneumonia. So it almost killed them by not having, they put themselves in a bad predicament by not having extra clothes. So I'm just giving you that piece of advice. If you're going to go out in the lake in the wintertime or in a rainstorm, if you're going to go in the rain, make sure you got a rain suit or some dry clothes. If you're going to go out in the wintertime when it's really cold or snowy, make sure you take dry clothes and definitely take warmer clothes. and have an extra set in case you need them. I always try to carry an extra suit with me just in case, especially if I take somebody else with me. I'm always prepared for that. I always have at least one towel in the boat, and I mean a big towel, not a little one. Have something that you'd use once you got out of the shower to dry yourself off. Have extra socks. I usually carry wool socks and merino wool because it dries quickly and it absorbs any moisture around your feet. So you can put the merino wool on, put the shoes on. Even if your shoes was wet, the merino wool will absorb that moisture and it won't come on your feet at all. It wicks it out. And I learned that by when my son played football, about standing out in the rain watching him play football in high school. I always wore merino wool and stuff like that, and it definitely keeps you warmer. I thought I'd pass that on to you. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. It'll help me out. There'll be videos in the future. Tomorrow we plan on fishing nickajack, and I'm hoping to give you some videos on that. Thank you. Have a good day.